Let's see if this works. Give them a moment to jump in. Okay, so we was at Exodus chapter 18 and verse 19. Hearken now to my voice, and I'll give thee counsel, and the Most High shall be with thee. So Jethro giving Moses counsel is telling him that if you follow my counsel, the Most High is going to be with you. If you don't follow my counsel, then the Most High is not going to be with you. A lot of us feel that, hey, I don't have to follow your counsel. It's optional. No, it's not optional. Okay? Go to the book of Proverbs. Tough. Accurate. Proverbs chapter 16 and 1. Read that.
This is Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 1. The preparations of the heart in men, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord.
Right. So a man prepare. What is he going to do? He's going to give you counsel. But when he speaks, the Father has already prepared his heart on what to say. So is counsel, is that optional? Somebody give you counsel, they tell you what to do. Is that counsel? Is that optional? The answer is no. Why? Because the answer of the tongue is from the Most High. That's Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 1. The problem is we don't think it's from the Most High. We think that's what you want me to do. Man. Verse 2, read that.
All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes.
Right, so that's why we would do what? That's why we would deny or reject or walk away from counsel. Say, hey, what I do is right. The Bible says all ways of a man he think is clean in his own eyes, but they not. That's the same as there is a way that seem right. A lot of times we'll double down on the bad. We're so confident we just know. You know, when I must have been in grade school. Check this out. I never forget this lesson. And that scarred me for life. It made me not be a person of chance. But it was this slickster. This guy, he used to ride the bus, and he used to play, y'all heard of 3-chord Molly? Oh, he was good at it. This dude was so slick, he would know how to bend the chord, flip, 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 bend the chord and show it to you. He would know how to show it to you, the red chord, he bend it and show it to you. That's your chord right there. And while he'll be slicing and dicing the chords up, so was I in grade school or maybe a freshman in high school? But I had a diamond ring, a real diamond ring. Had probably like a 1/4 carat in it, but it was set in silver, just one stone. And that dude took my ring. Yeah, he probably had a few 20s down there, and he said, "Man, if you can get the red card, I better get your ring. I'm going to show it to you." So you could get the red card, then you can have this. It's like, that's easy. I'm sitting there looking at it. He was like following it. You see it, and then he'll show it to you a couple times. But he's so good, nobody could never beat him. he in the midst of him flipping and turning, and he'll be like talking. You watching? Here it is. Here, show it to you again. And he'll straighten it and bend another one, and then like, which one is it? You see the one with that thing, like that's it right there. And that doggone car was red, man. Took my ring. So we can be so confident in something. Even sometimes in the things that we see, in the things that we say, we can be so confident and be so dead wrong. Though that type of behavior and mindset and thought, that's going to cost you your life. It's going to cost you the big one. So I learned not to be a person of chance. I don't know. I don't gamble with things of importance. I only take a chance, man, on something that I know. It's like I already know I got the answer and assured. Other than that, I'm not a gambling type of person. So this is not a factor whether the casino was lawful or unlawful. I'm saying with chances. So we take a chance when we don't take, what is this, the counsel? Mm-hmm. We don't take counsel, you're taking a chance. Because in your eyesight, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. I didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. There's nothing wrong with how I say it. There's nothing wrong with where I went. There's nothing wrong with who I talk to. Proverbs 16:2, all the ways of man are clean. There's nothing wrong in his own eyes. But in the eyes of others, it's filthy, it's dirty, it's rejectable in the eyes of others. A person like that, they need to start relying on the others, because who's really trying to reach out and talk to them through those people? The Most High is trying to talk to you. But in your mind, there's nothing wrong. It says the Lord weighed the spirits. Okay? So, commit thy works unto the Most High, and thy thoughts shall be established. So what was Jethro telling Moses? Everything that you do, you take it up to the Most High in prayer. So now let's go back. Shalom, Jordan. So Exodus 18:19, hearken now unto my voice, and I will give thee counsel. Okay, and I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward. And that's what you have to do, Israel. You have to be an example to the rest of the people in word and in deed. That means the stuff that you talk about has got to be according to righteousness. You know, our people that are pretty much not really studying or not really committed into the scriptures on a daily basis, you don't know how to talk the precepts. And nobody expects you to be like, thou shalt not do this, brother. Thus, you know, and thou and these and thine. We don't expect, the Lord don't expect you to talk in that type of format. That's not the format that you grow up in. What does the Most High do expect you to do? The things that you have studied and that you do know, He expects you to be able to say, no, we're not supposed to do that. That is not right. You see how easy that is? That's being Godward to the people. Not being ratchet to the people. Oh, sneaky. Oh, yeah, you know, nobody sees us. That's wicked. That's being wicked. So y'all brothers and sisters, y'all learning to be Godward unto the people. As y'all see that type of example, y'all supposed to be that type of example. Be Godward to the people. Go ahead.
That thou mayest bring the causes unto God.
So he was telling Moses that Moses would bring the causes unto the Most High. How many of us pray for one another? Well, you're going to bring the cause unto the Most High. Do you pray for you in a situation? You might have struggles with your children. Do you pray for your children? Lord, give them the spirit to turn around. Give them the spirit to have a change of heart. Give them the spirit to walk in thy ways. Just destroy his life as he would know it, and implant or put your, it's up to you. Put your words and your ways in his mind. Because if not, then what's going to end up happening? The Most High is going to kill him. This Bible is true. These words are true. These ways are true. Just because Israel don't follow them doesn't mean that it ain't going to come to pass. All of these prophecies that's written in the scriptures, many has been fulfilled, and they being planned out right now today, right in front of us. So we're not to let the nightclub, disco, the plush car, luxury homes that you live in, you're not to let that fool or deceive you. The meal, the food. Oh, I'm stuffed. I got nothing else to worry about. Don't let that fool you. These prophecies, they're going to come to pass, whether you would accept it or whether you would not accept it. So when you have issues and problems, you got to bring that cause into the Most High. You know, when you read Matthew 10, the scriptures teach you that a man's foe shall be there of his own household. So your first immediate problems are going to begin right there at home. You're going to have problems with your wife. Wives, you're going to have problems with your husbands. Brothers, you're going to have problems with your sisters. Sisters, you're going to have problems with your brothers. Children, you're going to have problems with your parents. Especially if people are not on one accord in the scriptures, you're going to have issues and problems with them. But you got to bring the cause unto the Most High. That's the moral of the story. You got to pray. You gotta know what to pray for. I want him dead. I just can't take it no more. I want him out of my life. Nope. He ain't getting out of your life. That's the wrong thing to pray for. You gotta pray for change, man. We're actually all fighting a war. Israel, you just don't see it. You don't see it. It's like fish in the sea. You don't see the fish, do you? Man, it's full of millions of creatures. You can't see them. They there. All it takes is a line and some bait to draw it out. And then next thing you know, you got something on the line. The war is like that. The conspiracy to exterminate you as an Israelite. I could say you as a black man, you as a black woman, but the thing is that you're an Israelite. And you do have a bullseye on you. They want to put a muzzle upon us. We're sitting out there treading the corn. We're getting the corn out. We're planting seeds so that Israel can have meat in due season. And the first thing that all the other people want to do is conspire against us by saying, hey, you're teaching lies. They're teaching lies. They're in a call. That's not right. And a lot of times, people, they drop like flies because somebody else has persuaded them that this gospel, this history about who the so-called black and Hispanic and Native American is. They try and get rid of you. And so there go one. So now so then people turn back into the world. So then do we really, can we really spare somebody? No. The answer is no. We need everybody that we want, that we can, And then check this out. And with us needing everybody, the people that you're probably having a problem with, they somewhat believe, they just lack the confidence. They lack the spirit to do it. And so those are the things that you see that them lacking. Those are the things that you pray and you ask the Father to give to them. You don't ask the Most High to give them death. You ask the Most High to give them the confidence. Ask the Most High to give them the spirit to endure. Some of you're messing up so terrible to where you're becoming to be unbearable. Unbearable. You can't live like that. to where you are unbearable to other people. You can't live like that. You know, being a gremlin, that's something where I can think of. You know, a gremlin. Menace. The scriptures say, with everything that lieth within you. In order, you got to be peaceable. In order to do that, you got to consider somebody outside of yourself. So when you bring these causes unto the Father, when you're going to pray, we're not praying for the destruction of your people, man. That's self-hatred. That's self-destruction. That's genocide. If you were some type of ruler or emperor, somebody that was in control, what type of environment would you be running? Would you be killing people? Or would you be trying to teach people? So if you're the type of person that will be trying to teach people, then you most likely is somebody that's trying to come on one accord with somebody that you go off with. But if you like, F them, you can go straight to hell, then you a murderer. And that's what type of dictatorship that you will be running. You will be a murderer, man. You're just like the people that mentally, emotionally, in every facet that you can name, enslave our people now. That's not how we to be. So you to take the cause unto the Most High. You got to know how to take that cause. And you got to know what is the will of the Father. Is it the will of the Father that Israel should perish? No, it's not. All right? So let's get a precept saying that it's not. Second Peter 3, right. 2 Peter chapter 3. And verse 9.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish.
Right. The Father himself is not willing that any should perish. So why would we be so angry and hateful and hate one another? The more somebody gets irritable to you, the more you should correct them. And then when you feel tempted yourself, then that's time for you to flag. You ever, you know, it's abominable at this point, but anybody ever play sports? When you got hurt, what's the first thing you did? Coach, take me out. You understand? You be limping. You flag. You know you down. Right? So you get help yourself. So if you get in a situation to where somebody, you know, you just can't take it, then you, instead of getting out of the spirit, you ask for help. And you tell them what's going on. Because you try to resolve it with that person and it didn't work. You trying to deal with them alone, it doesn't work. So now you have got to ask for help. Hey, can you help me? Man, I just got so mad. He was doing this and he was doing that. And I said this and I said that, but he wouldn't stop. So then the first thing they're going to do is they're going to tell you. What are they going to tell you? What's the first thing they're going to do? What are they going to tell you? They're going to tell you where you went wrong at. They're going to say where you went wrong at. Where you miscarried. You understand? Where you dropped the situation. And they're supposed to, by right, tell you. And you got to listen to that. You got to listen to them tell you that you went wrong and you made a mistake, because Whose salvation are you trying to work out? Your own. You're trying to get bigger and better and stronger. You're trying to endure. You're trying to last. You're not trying to get rejected by the Father. You're trying to get accepted by the Most High Christ. So they got to tell you where you went wrong at. So you got to listen to them. Because they actually giving you the answers to help you to have success the very next time you run into the situation with that same person. Because offenders, they repeat until they learn to get better. Okay? So now, God is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering towards us. Go ahead.
Not willing that any should perish.
Right, so he don't want the person to perish. So don't be asking the Most High to kill somebody. Don't be asking the Most High to send them to hell. He gonna do it anyway. Israel, y'all hear that? He gonna do it anyway. You don't have to tell him to condemn that person. If that person is condemnable and it's not meant, that person is gonna get jacked up. But the Lord don't need that in you. He need you being what type of person to that person? Godward. Right, Godward. He needs you being like that. Go ahead.
But that all should come to repentance.
But all should come to repentance. So your mind state should be like, the Most High wants that person to repent. The Lord wants you to repent, bro. The Lord wants you to repent, sister. The Lord wants you to repent, baby. You know, brothers, who would do that? Well, you'd be surprised who would do that. We all do that. We get mad at somebody and we want them gone. I'm tired of them. Just go die. Going out in the world. I'm tired of you. Just get so far off that you lose your way, man. Israel, everybody's like that, man. That ain't no strange thing right there, brother. That's why these precepts is right there. Okay? Remember when Solomon, the Lord said, when Solomon in his prayer that he didn't ask for the death of his enemies, who do you think his enemies were? He had the nations in check. The enemies were enemies inside of Israel. Okay? So, let's go back. I feel us drifting. What's up, Sister Angie? Shalom. King, what's up, brother? So we're at Exodus chapter 18 and 19, verse 20 now.
Exodus 18 and verse 20.
Right.
And thou shalt teach them ordinances.
And thou shalt teach them ordinances. So now instead of it being Moses, and it went to Christ. Christ made disciples out of brothers and sisters. Made followers out of brothers and sisters. Now your job is to teach them ordinances. So when we're dealing with idolizing, you'd have to step up and you'd have to be able to tell this brother or sister that call him or herself spiritual. We'll get back to Wisdom of Solomon 13. That the only thing that's spiritual is the Father and his commandments. And us, when we follow the Most High in that order, not the order that we're going to read about. So you have to teach them ordinances and teach them laws. This is not the Most High telling me. It is the Most High telling me to teach you, but he's also telling you to be godly and for you to teach other people. That's right. But before you can teach, we know the process. That you have to be a God-fearing person. You got to be somebody that's actually doing it yourself. And then you're going to be prepared to teach ordinances and laws. Go ahead.
And shall show them the way wherein they must walk.
And must show them the way wherein they must walk. You say, hey, no, we're going to keep the new moon feast tomorrow at evening. Not tonight at evening. We're going to keep it tomorrow at evening. Why? Because it's a sign between us and the Most High that we're his people and we're keeping his laws. And he gave it for, when you read Ecclesiastes 41, a declaration of time, and it's a time of feast. Okay? So, and that's tomorrow at evening. Some of you think it's tonight. Tomorrow at evening. So you have to show them how to do it. So you come together, you cook the food. When the sky's black, the stoves are off, there's no more cooking. You can't run around to the store and get soda pop real fast. You can't do nothing. Because it's the new moon Sabbath. It's the 7th-day Sabbath. It's the day of rest. You show them how to do it. You give them something that they can see visually. That's y'all's job. To show people what to do. And if you're not doing it, then you best get to it. Because you're on the job. You're on the clock. The Father has sent you out to be an example for his people. And you got to always remember the things. As you learn these things, then you have to remember these things. You can't expect other people to do it. People that the Most High did not call. They already distracted doing their thing. He put you on the work. He put you on the job. He called you to work. And he's going to give you a reward for doing it. Because the stuff that he called you away from, he understands that those things were important to you. He understands that those things that you liked at those things. But he said there's nothing compared to the things that he's going to give you. So go ahead and let them go and count them as dung. Okay? So, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk. Go ahead.
And the work that they must do.
You see that? And the work that they have to do. Okay? The work is building the nation of Israel. First, building themselves, building their house, training up one another, brothers and sisters, to walk in the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. Be faithful. That's a work. That's a job. And then being consistent with it. Not being wavering, double-minded, two-timing, backsliding, being a no-gooder. No. But righteously doing everything. Read.
Verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men.
Right. So out of all the people, it's the able men, it's the able brothers and sisters that's going to be able to do this thing. Well, you know what he means by able? He means competent. Competent people. Responsible people. Are you a responsible brother? Are you a responsible sister? Are you a reliable brother? Are you a reliable sister? And when brothers and sisters around here, if you become unreliable, the reason why I come down and give you the rebuke that you get is because here it is here. It says that you must be an able brother. You understand? An able brother. Competent. So faithful. So the Most High put you into this thing. He said serve him with a fervent spirit. This going to prove that you are enabled. Okay? Not lackadaisical. Not lukewarm. Okay? Such as what?
Such as fear God.
The type of person that is keeping the Most High's commandments. That's what it is to fear God. Not lip service. You don't let man teach you how to fear God. You let the Bible teach you how to fear the Most High. When you read Isaiah 29, it says the fear towards my people are taught by the precept of men. Do men have precepts? No. That means this man made up something and say, you don't gotta fear the Most High. You fear the Most High this much. You ain't crazy. It is a God, but you can still eat what you want to eat. You can still go where you want to go. No. That's the precept of man. That's what man is talking about. But the precepts of the Most High tell you that when you fear the Most High, you don't break laws. You don't transgress the script. You don't go against the word of the Most High. Get it in Ecclesiastes 2:15. You don't go against the word of the Most High when you fear the Most High.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word.
Right. So this is the type of person that you're dealing with. That you have to be. Let's say it like that. Right? They that fear the Most High are not disobedient. They that fear the Most High will what? What is that?
Will not disobey his word.
Will not. Will not. So they read it for themselves. Everybody see it. You read laws for yourself. And that law tell you what to do and what not to do. And that law is going to be stuck into your mind. That it's going to keep on coming back up into your memory to the forefront, right up here, to the thought process. And it's going to be telling you, don't do that. Don't do that. It's going to be telling you that. Whether it's being mean-minded, mean-spirited, angry, rendering evil for evil, retaliated, grudging, lying, stealing, covetousness, adultery, lust, anger, selfishness, you name it. Those things, the Most High's word going to be telling you, you can't be like that. That's wrong. Backbiting, yeah, you can't be like that. That's a big one, that backbiting, talking back. Sometimes it make a person want to take your fronts out. You be looking like you like 80 years old without just dentures. Because you've been backbiting and somebody pop you across the mouth and knock your grill. You look like Jack-o'-lantern. They can't do that to you though. That's me being human, y'all. You know, somebody gonna knock your fronts out, man. So, but fearing the Most High. So they that fear the Most High, you ain't gonna disobey his word. You ain't worried about what other people say and do. You worry about the Most High. Lord say, don't do this. Man, it's something else to feel guilty, ain't it? Anybody ever felt guilty about something? Maybe the loss or something?
Yeah.
You feel guilty? You don't want to be haunted by that. What's up, Sister Shalom? You don't want to be haunted by that, do you? Guilt trip. It doesn't go away, do it? But you know what? You know what really helps you to remember that you went off? The judgment do. The judgment do. Because when the Most High judge you, He's going to bring into remembrance what you have been doing. Let's show you. Wisdom of Solomon's 12th chapter. We went over it Tuesday, right? Wisdom of Solomon 12. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and verse 2.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 2. Therefore chastenest thou them by little and little.
Right, therefore chastenest thou them. When it says by little and little, that doesn't necessarily mean that the little ain't something that hurts you. Yeah, it hurt. The scriptures say little. You got this situation going on, you got that situation. The Most High be chastening you. He's to put his hands upon you, right? Go ahead.
That offend.
That offend. So when the Most High chasten you, He afflict you because you offended him. Most people don't think that it's God, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. You don't think that he get offended. The Most High do get offended. With Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and 2. He do get offended. One way that the Most High get offended is when we vex another person. When you vex another person, the Most High gets offended. Y'all understand that? When we vex another person, the Most High gets offended. Why? Read the first verse.
Verse 1. For thine incorruptible spirit is in all things.
In the brother that you vexed. So his incorruptible spirit being in that person and you vexing that person is grieving the spirit of the Most High. It's offending the Most High. Jump down back to verse 2. And one is them.
And one is them.
And one is them. So you got chastened, and then all of a sudden, to the forefront of your mind, it start coming up the guilt, the things that you did wrong. Go ahead.
By the putting them in remembrance, wherein they have offended.
Right, and putting them in remembrance. That remembrance part, that is your brain functioning and pulling up the stuff that you did. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. You're going to humble yourself. You're going to remember how you said this, and how you said that, and what you did when he put his hands on you. Then you're going to start thinking about, yes, what I said was wrong, and how I did this, that was wrong too, and I shouldn't have did that, and that was wrong. Your spirit going to start bearing witness because of the afflictions, the chastisement, because you're going to be thinking like, what did I do to deserve this? And then you're going to start, because you know that bull stuff wasn't acceptable. So you're like, man, that's probably what it could be. And then he get you again. That's what it was. That's what it is. That's what it is. You get it again. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. That leaving
their wickedness, they may believe on thee.
Right. So the chastening come, and you got to leave your wickedness, and then you got to believe on the Most High. Stop saying that the Most High is not going to judge me. The Most High not going to do this. The Father ain't going to do that. All right? So now, let's jump back over into Wisdom of Solomon. We then start at 13 and verse 1. So when we read this, you'll keep this in mind on how to deal with the idolatrous state of your people. It's your job to be God unto them. Correct them according to this Bible. Go ahead. Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 1.
Wisdom of Solomon 13 and verse 1.
That thing ain't no joke, is it?
Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 1. Surely vain are all men by nature.
Right. Surely wicked and false. Okay. Go ahead.
Who are ignorant of God.
Right, who are ignorant of the Most High. So ignorant is a word, a state of being uneducated and not knowing. And as a matter of fact, Israel, we go through the war on ignorance, meaning there's so much out here and people, they choose to be ignorant. And the other thing is they fight you. You understand? They'll fight you. They'll measure mind upon mind, what they know and what you know. And they'll do that while they're in an ignorant state. So you got to understand it. That's how that is. And then you got to learn to adjust and don't get caught up in the measuring of mind's trick with people. You understand what I'm saying? What did I just call it?
Measuring of mind trick.
All right, the measuring of mind trick. Okay, you should have took a nap, young man. We all take naps before we come to this place. How many people here take a nap before y'all try to come at least? See, look at that. Yes. Today I was wondering, I was like, I didn't get it. But then I was like, man, is this a sign of old age that I need a nap in the middle of the daytime? Then I saw Shy up under his covers, right? I started to make him famous, but I said, no.
Really?
Yeah, I started to get him. I said, no, you know what? In the middle of the feast. That's the difference, man. So, ignorant, who are ignorant of God. Now pay attention, man. Stop. So don't be wrestling with them, because the scriptures say that they ignorant of the Most High. Ignorant means they don't know. A lot of times we try to give people credit like they do know. They don't know, man. You know? They ignorant. So then you got to do what? Now you got to start teaching them. You got to realize that they defended themselves. They jump up like this, using what they know. They using the simplicity of this world. What's up with this world? Go to Philippians. This is what's up with this world. Nothing. Philippians chapter 4 and 7.
This is Philippians chapter 4 and verse 7. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding.
Right, so we have the peace of the Father in us. And what we have, it passed all understanding. So if they ignorant, here's the definition. Stay with me. Here's the definition of ignorant. It says lacking knowledge or awareness in general. Uneducated, unsophisticated. Synonyms: uneducated, unknowledgeable, untaught, unschooled, untutored. So nobody sat down and tutored them. This is what a tutor do. What I'm doing with y'all. This is what a tutor do. Sit down and tell you and talk to you and go here a little and there a little, precept upon precept. Take the time and explain it, and therefore this should leave you well versed. You're not ignorant. Okay. Untrained, illiterate, unlettered. They don't know the letters. Unlearned, unread, uninformed, unenlightened. You see, so all of this describes the person, the brother, sister of the world, also known as your uncle, your cousin, your sister, your mother, your grandmother. So the first thing that they want to do is they want to duke it out with the knowledge of this world. The Father said he confounds them. We're going to get that precept too. Okay? So, but what you have surpassed, it passes them. Okay? Go back to Philippians chapter 4 and verse 7.
Philippians 4:7. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ.
Right. So the point is that what we have the ability to bring peace. Now let's go to 1 Corinthians 1. We have the ability to bring peace into a situation, and the knowledge that we have, it passed what they understand. But you got to know how to use it correctly, not incorrectly. Okay, 1 Corinthians chapter 1. And verse 25.
This is 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 25. Because the foolishness of God is wiser than men.
Right. What is the foolishness of God? This Bible. They look at it like, that's stupid. That's foolish. What you doing is foolish. What y'all saying is foolish. They look at it like that. That's foolish. Why you got to do that? Why you got to talk like that? You can't do that. That's foolishness. The scriptures say, whenever they finish, is wiser than them. Why is that? Why is it what we're doing wiser than what they're doing? You got to think of the word wiser to get the answer, to come up with your answer. You don't have to use the word wise, but that's a clue right there. Go ahead.
Well, if you add on our foolishness or the black
Talk
to their
loud.
understanding, then that'll make them wiser. Because without it, then that'll make them less wiser.
No. You're probably just repeating what's being said. Why is the foolishness of God wiser than men? What we're doing wiser. Why is it? Wiser is the key. Wiser is the key. Because what's the benefit of being wise? Come on, man. What's the benefit of being wise? Kind of talk loud like this so everybody can hear it. What's the benefit?
You know the answer.
Okay, you out. Somebody else. Young blood. What's the benefit of being wise? You out. What's the benefit, Dre? What's the benefit of being wise? You out. Shot. What's the benefit of being wise?
Like a better understanding of things.
You out. What's the benefit of being wise?
They having the experience of the thing.
You said that the last time and you was out. That's right. Hezekiah got it.
Yeah.
He said it keeps you from destruction. It keeps you from being from destruction.
Punishment,
Right. Shit. Come on. It's wiser than them. So now if I'm wise, if they're not wise, what do you think gonna happen to them? So they can talk all they want to talk. They're gonna end up jacked up. They're gonna end up, and they're gonna be wondering like, why? All right? Because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser. The stuff that we're doing, the choice that we make, it makes us wiser. And when we do this thing, it keeps us from destruction. What happens when they don't do it? They're destroyed. And they called us foolish. Okay? Read the next part.
And the weakness of God
And the weakness, and the weakness of the Most High. Go ahead.
is stronger than men.
So people look at you like you're weak. They look at you like you are the stupidest thing. Girl, you listen to that man? Girl, you got to do this, you got to do that. Why is your relationship better than hers? She's single. Her man is gone. She didn't know how to keep her man because she had a big fat mouth. Or she tried to be slick and play the whore. And the guy was like, what? I'm out of here. I'm out of here. You see? But they called the sister weak, who obeyed her husband, calling their Lord, say, hey, no, I got to do what the sister, like, she got to do what her husband says. The other woman on the side was like, girl, you weak. But yet and still, who has the marriage, the house, the car, the child, the man, and they still together? Why? She on sidekick number what? 3. 3, 4, right. And they called you weak. You see? So this is talking about us. But don't worry about that. Know that this is how Israel would think, and you got to teach them differently. Go ahead. Well, 1 Corinthians 1:26 now.
For you see your calling, brethren.
For you see your calling, brother. That means that you see the work, you see what you're up against. Everybody see and understand this? You see what you're up against in Bibles? Okay. You see what you're up against? Right. What are you up against? Verse 25. Foolishness, weakness, that's how people will view you. Now you see that. Go ahead.
How that not many wise men after the flesh.
Not many wise men after the flesh, meaning not many smarts. Okay? You see any Oprah up in here, and Samuel Jackson, you know, and Denzel Washington, and Kobe Bryant's, and Michael Jordan's, and Scottie Pippen's, and LeBron James. Okay? You see not many. Well, I probably jumped ahead, but wise men meaning smart people, people that claim to be smart, you know. Not many what? Mighty. Those are the strong ones that we talked about. Some of the strong ones, mighty. Mighty men, strong men. You understand? Whether they physically strong or they in competition, they're esteemed in this world. The Lord said, they that are highly esteemed in this world are abomination unto him. Go ahead.
Not many noble.
Not many noble. What does noble mean? Noble. You get the devil in. Belonging to a hereditary class with high social or political status. When we deal with the second definition, it says, this is it, having or showing fine personal qualities or high moral principles and ideals. Synonyms: righteous, virtuous, good, honorable, upright, decent, worthy, moral, ethical, reputable. Okay? Generous. In your society, you will have righteous people. Okay? You will have virtuous people, good and honorable people. They won't be like that according to the Bible. They'll be like that according to, you know, man in this world, in the society. They'll be very ethical and moral. They'll be unselfish. Those people, the society will esteem them as being somebody noble. But what did the Bible says? They're not called. Okay, let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse, what was that at?
26.
27 now.
But God had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise.
Right, he's chosen us, those that they will call foolish. Why? Because we repented from all different type of sins. We come out of jail, we read the scriptures, we see our fault, we put fringes upon our garment. Now we're Hebrews. People say that we were foolish. You understand? Sisters in the cat houses, you see some sisters, they transform from being sex symbols, and now they became virtuous because the spirit that's of the Father that grew inside of them changed them. And then now, instead of them being very promiscuous, they became righteous. But at one time, we were foolish. The Lord said, "You have chosen the foolish ones that's in this world." Brothers stealing, selling drugs, whoremongering, to do what? Confound the wise. When do we confound the wise? And what does the word confound mean? When do we confound the wise? Right. When you speak. When you cause confusion. You'll cause confusion and they'll be scratching their scalp. You be standing out there and you be talking to them and you be telling them this, that, and the third. And you see the scriptures, you be opening them up and say, they'll be like, huh? What? Nah, that ain't you. What book is that? It's the same one you got. Nah, surely you're taking that out of content. See, that's not actual. They don't want it to be actual because that means that they will actually have to change. That's metaphorical. That's not literal. That's scientific. What the hell? What it? So you'll cause confusion. It says cause surprise or confusion in someone. Amazed, astonished, dumbfounded, staggered. These are the synonyms. Startle, stun, shake. You shake them. We'll stand out there and open up the scriptures and have their world in dismays. Puzzle, perplex them. The Lord said he take us and put this knowledge and understanding in our mind and in our spirit because we seeking after of them. And they'll be shook, man. They'll be lost. That's the ability that you brothers and sisters grow to have when you apply the scriptures. Okay? So, back to 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 27, but have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Do we understand it now? And God have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things that are mighty. Okay? Still dealing with people. And base things of the world. So we wasn't rich. It didn't take a lot of money to get us. It didn't take nothing. It just took the calling of the Spirit. Okay? God chosen. Base things of the world and things which were despised, meaning the ones that was despised, ones that were hated, have the Father chosen, yet, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, meaning ones that people overlook. Remember how, you probably at the basketball court or something like that, and you didn't get chosen to be on the team. Or you were in a situation and you got overlooked, or you were accounted for, you are most likely not to pass or succeed. You got overlooked. You got told that you're not going to be anything. Those are the ones that the Most High pick and choose. He chose you. The Most High took the underdogs and said, I'm going to work with them. You give me them. My team against your team, pound for pound. And he get his team to listen to him. And they increase and abound in knowledge, wisdom, understanding, the Spirit of the Most High. And then they became as gods. When the other ones, they destroyed themselves because they refused to hearken. All right? So let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon 13. Surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of the Most High. So help explain that part. Who are ignorant of the Most High, meaning they didn't know. Go ahead.
And could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is.
Right. So the stuff that they see, they still were not able to put it together and say the Most High made this. Okay. Go ahead.
Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster.
Right. By considering the thing itself, did they acknowledge the Most High. But instead, they let Satan into their mind and say, well, this is a sun god, this is a moon god, this is the earth god, this is the god of the rain, stuff like that. And that's where you get the spirituality, the spiritual aspect of people trying to say I'm in tune with the universe. And then you see they always adorn themselves with elements and things that the Father himself created. Verse 3. Verse 2.
Verse 2. But deemed either fire,
right,
or wind, or the swift air, or the circle of the stars, or the violent water, or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world. with whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
What did that precept say? Let them know.
Yeah.
You see, it's telling you to teach them.
Teach 'em, yeah.
Let them know how much better the creator of them is. Because he created the fire, the wind, the air, the stars, the water, and all the lights in the firmament of heaven. And those things are instruments of his creation. So when you see somebody doing it into it, that's idolatry. You can't respect, oh, y'all respect your view, man. No, I do not, brother, respect your view. Okay? Go ahead.
For the first author of beauty had created them. But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them. For by the greatness and beauty of the creatures, proportionably the maker of them is seen.
Right.
But yet for this they are less to be blamed. For they peradventure err, seeking God, and desires to find him. For being conversant in his works, they search him diligently, and believe their sight, because the things are beautiful that are seen.
Right, so it's saying the things are so magnificent that it drew them into the worship of it, seeking, the Most High. It says, yet, for they are the less to be blamed, meaning they still responsible, but peradventure they err, seeking the Most High and desires to find him. Verse 8.
Howbeit, neither are they to be pardoned.
Go ahead. See, right there. So it says, howbeit, neither are they to be pardoned. Javon, could you get that water out the freezer for me and make sure you shut it? All right. So the Lord is not going to give them, he's not going to give them pardon because, they went into idolatry. They were searching so hard that they went into idolatry. They went into the worship of things that the Most High himself created. They're not going to be pardoned, so you have to tell them that. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 9. For if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world,
Sit down.
how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof? But miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope, who call them gods, which are the works of men's hands.
Right, verse 10, how miserable they are, and in dead things is their hope, who call them gods. So on the outside, we might see things like a suit. We might see a suit, nice car, well-favored clothing. We might see things like that. But what does the scripture say they are? You missed it. Miserable. Miserable. If they not following the scriptures as it is written, the scriptures say that they're miserable. Anybody that's not following the scriptures as it is written is miserable. And it's even worse for you if you know the scriptures and you're not following it. Okay? So, but miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope. Right. Their hope is in dead things. The moon is dead. It's not a live being. The star that twinkles is not a live thing. It's dead. So they put their hope in that. It says, who called them gods? You can't call something that does not have any mobility or function or attributes to it other than what the Father gave it to it. And they all most have something in common. It may be the light of things, which are the works of men's hands. Now, what is man beginning to do? Assimilate it.
Yeah.
Create it into some type of faction to where people can see it. Whether they put it on a charm, or they put it in a picture, and they sell it. Okay? That's why it says gold and silver. To show art in, meaning to show art, to show their ability, and resemblances of beasts or stone, good for nothing. The work of an ancient hand. So this has been going on a long time. Okay? Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 11. Go ahead.
Now a carpenter that filed timber, after he had sawn down a tree meet for the purpose, and taken off all the bark skillfully round about.
So imagine him, he's doing it. He cuts the tree down. He's going to take off all the bark that are round about it. Take his time doing it. Go ahead.
And have wrought it handsomely.
Right, so now it looks good. That's what handsomely is. Go ahead.
And made a vessel thereof fit for the service of man's life. And after spending the refuse of his work to dress his meat, hath filled himself, and taking the very refuse among those which serve to no use, being a crooked piece of wood and full of knots, had carved it diligently when he had nothing else to do, and formed it by the skill of his understanding, and fashioned it into the image of a man, or made it like some vile beast.
Right, so they would take the tree and they would carve it down and erect a standing statue and shape it, and now it's looking like, the form of a man. Sometimes they use concrete. Now here it is, they're using wood. And a lot of times you see these things. You see them in state parks. They have made the statues of men, but they be out of concrete. Excuse me, they be out of concrete now. But before, they would carve them out of wood. People were very good at chiseling and carving and making statues. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 14. Or made it like some vile beast, laying it over with vermilion, and with paint coloring it red, and covering every spot therein. And when he had made a convenient room for it, set it in a wall, and made it fast with iron. For he provided for it that it might not fall, knowing that it was unable to help itself. For it is an image.
For it is an image. You see? So how does the Most High feels about this? He doesn't like it. The Lord is a jealous God. So we're to have no images, Israel. Okay? No images. Okay? Go to the book of Deuteronomy. Chapter 4. In verse 12, we'll start there.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 12. And the Lord spake unto you out of the midst of the fire. Ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude. Only ye heard a voice. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments, and he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone. And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go over to possess it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female.
So now, right here is completely cutting it up. Still on Bible station. Right here is cutting it up. It says, take, did you get to 16?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Take verse 15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for you saw no similitude on the day that the Father spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves. So this is how it was supposed to be. And make you a graven image, similitude of any figure, male or female. So now, let's go to the lie that's being taught in Israel. Go to Hosea chapter 3. Hosea chapter 3. Verse 4.
This is Hosea chapter 3 and verse 4. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king.
Right, so Israel is going to be broken up. You won't have a king. Go ahead.
And without a prince.
You won't have a prince, meaning you won't have nobody noble. Okay? Nobody, no princely, no royalty. You won't be able to see that amongst Israel. Go ahead.
And without an image.
You're going to, no, sacrifice.
I'm sorry, without a sacrifice.
Without a sacrifice. You won't even be able to sacrifice. Read the next part.
And without an image.
And without an image. That's the big discrepancy. So now, let's find some precepts to help us understand what image that's referring to. Let's go, one of them is, let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. You got it? 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Verse 22.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 22.
All right.
Abstain from all appearance of evil.
So now, is it safe to say appearance and image is the same thing? Does an image have an appearance? Abstain from all appearance. So Israel, I believe that, because it's forbidden against the commandments for Israel to have an image. Okay? So when Hosea is saying that Israel is going to be without an image, it's saying Israel is now going to not have the appearance of righteousness inside of the nation of Israel. Okay? So, here's another example. Let's go to St. John chapter 14. Brothers, use that precept to push idolatry in Israel. St. John chapter 14 and verse 8.
This is St. John chapter 14 and verse 8.
Start at verse 6.
John 14 and 6. Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
So keep that in mind. Christ saying that he's the way, the truth, and the life, and you can't get into the Father but by him. Go ahead.
If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also.
Right, you would know the Most High also. Go ahead.
And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him.
So, have they actually seen the Most High? The answer is no. Read.
Philip said unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it sufficeth us.
And we're going to be satisfied. Go ahead.
Yahushua said unto him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father.
Right. He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. Why is that? Because he come in the image of his Father. And what is the image of his Father? Does that mean that he looked just like his Father? That means the way, the righteousness. That's why I say, I am the way, the truth, and the life. You understand? So that image in Hosea chapter 3 is referring to the way. Israel would no longer have the way. Yeah, brother, you got to get that phone charger, man, and keep it going, brother. Everybody, y'all get those phone chargers and plug those things up so that they don't go dead on you. Is everybody clear with that? Okay. Well, don't let them push that idol on you, man. All right, go ahead.
And back to Hosea too.
Go back to Hosea.
Chapter 8.
All right.
To add to, that's what the Most High was talking about, but also Hosea was he was correcting some folly in Israel that they were doing even in that time. Hosea 8 and verse 1. So it's Hosea chapter 8 and 1. It says, Set the truth to thy mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant, and have transgressed against my law, trespassed against my law. Israel shall cry unto me, My God, we know thee. Israel hath cast off the thing that is good. The enemy shall pursue them. They have set up kings, but not by me. They have made princes, and I knew it not. Of their silver and their gold have they made them idols, that they may be cut off. So also Hosea is correcting in chapter 4 too, Israel, saying how they would be many days without these things, because now the Most High he's correcting them, and they're gonna put all that wickedness off. The kings that they set up, that he ain't set up, they chose. You know what I'm saying? The princes that they chose, that was further leading them and allowing them to sin, and then they even made idols of silver and gold. So the Most High, like, they gonna be many days also without it, because I'm gonna do away with it all. I'm gonna correct it. You know what I'm saying? So that's also to go along with the righteousness that they gave up and that they wouldn't have, because they set up all this wickedness, and then the Most High said they're gonna be without it. And then I had one more in the Numbers, because sometimes Israel, they may try and be tricky, or try and be deceitful with, well, it says image, because we may be reading that images, well, they talking about things that was made with silver and gold, but that's what it's talking about as well as this. So Numbers 33 and verse 52. This isn't allowed either and this is a little more with detail. Numbers 33 and 51. It says, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye are passed over Jordan in the land of Canaan, then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and shall destroy all their what? Pictures. So what are brothers making? Pictures. They drawing pictures of Christ, saying this is Christ, this is the Most High. So even pictures of the Godhead was not allowed, and the Most High destroyed the Canaanites for making pictures of Godheads, or calling them gods, and destroyed all their molten images and quick pluck down all their high places. So that's just to add to that, pictures as well, in case brothers try and be slick to say, well, this ain't an image, this is a picture, this is a drawing. You know what I'm saying? So that was it.
So Israel would have to do away with that. So if you got pictures of a man, he has woolly hair and white like wool, you got to get rid of that. You can't have that. That's idolatry. Okay, you got some people got crosses, images on the cross, made of wood, made of different ceramic, or made of stone, made of gold and copper and things like that. You got to get rid of that. You can't have that. That's idolatry right there. All right, the Lord had said that Israel, that we were to burn those things with fire. So we'll go back to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 13.
This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 13 and verse 16. For he provided for it that it might not fall.
Right. So when he made the guy that cut the tree down, that made the statue, he even had to stick steel in it, metal in it, to keep it from falling down because it had no life. Okay? When do we know that we have to do something for the Most High? You got to carry the Most High around. Come on, Most High. I'm going to carry you around. It's time to get up, Most High. I'm finna leave. You going with me. See? Oh, man. You can't do that, man. That's an idol, man. All right? That's an idol right there. You can't do that. Go ahead.
Knowing that it was unable to help itself.
Right, knowing that it was unable to help itself. Brothers, you got the chain. I'm going to put the chain on. I'm put the chain on. You can't do that. You got to get rid of that. You cannot be afraid to take that thing and chuck it, discard it, throw it away. Go ahead.
For it is an image and have need of help.
For it is an image and have need of help itself. Okay, go ahead.
Then maketh he prayer for his goods, for his wife and children, and is not ashamed to speak to that which hath no life.
Right. So we're pouring out our guts and our spirit and our mind to what? For our goods, for our wife, for our children. The Father is sitting us putting supplication in for something that can't help us. We can't do that. And when you see somebody, because we're being taught to extend this lending, helping hand to our people that are in the war of ignorance, you got to say something. You got to say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. All right? It says, and it's not ashamed to speak that which you have, to which have no life. It's not ashamed to do it. People should be ashamed. Okay? Go ahead, verse
18.
Right.
For help he called upon that which is weak.
Right, for health he called it upon that which is weak. And you're going to call upon something that's zero, has the energy of nothing, that's powerless. You're more strong, you're stronger than it. But you call it upon it. Go ahead.
For life, pray to that which is dead.
That's what I was just talking about. Life, pray to that which is dead. So Israel, reform your hearts. What's up, Brother Kelly? Hey, Miss T. Reform your hearts. Meaning reshape your mind and the way that you think upon things. Some of you Hebrews, man, y'all got the image talking about this your house. I'm saying I'm getting rid of the white image and now I got a black image. Israel, you have an image. You got an image. And what color do you think these images were back then? They were images that would look like you. You understand? Because Esau was in subjection. He was in check. They knew that he was spittle. We got it from them that they were spittle and wasn't about the dust on the beam. Who you think we got this stuff from? Our foreparents, right? So they knew. So you think they're gonna belittle themselves and make them an image of the people that they very hated? No, the people themselves try to exalt themselves and put the likeness of their images around us. But we ourselves, when we created images that looked at like ourselves, or images of beasts, and got always corrected and judged by the Father. So it's the same thing happening today. Get rid of the images. Get rid of the images. Don't be. When I see brothers, and sisters that have that on their page, I say, hey, I just simply correct them. Hey, that picture right there, that's an image. That's an idol. And then I show them and take them to the scriptures. Something as simple as Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. Show them that. At least you corrupt yourselves and make you an image. And then now they got to get rid of it. And then now that other one in Numbers, that's a good one. Concerning what? The picture. You got to get rid of that thing. Okay? What was that? Numbers what?
33 and 51.
Numbers 33 and 51. Concerning the picture. You can't even have a picture of it. Okay? Did you say rethink the way we go about things? Yeah, you have to reform yourselves. I said reform. Let's look up the definition of reform for somebody. It's talking about changing. Because as much as we can say this, you can always imagine people will be stuck. You'll be talking to them. They got the chain on with the image. And they'll be like, yeah, I heard what you're saying, brother. They chain ain't removing. Because in their mind, they like, it ain't registered yet. So reform, make changes in, okay? Or in order to improve it. So you make changes to improve. Improve, better, make better, to refine, alter, adjust, adapt, amend, revise, reshape, redesign, refashion, restyle, revamp, rebuild, reconstruct, remodel, reorganize. Do all of those things to your mind concerning the images, idols, and pictures that you might have. Get that stuff off of your webpage, off your internet, off your website. Those images, that's not Christ. That's not Christ right there. That's an image, that's the work of men's hands, is what that is. That's nothing to do with the Messiah. Okay? So now, let's go back. Wisdom of Solomon. Yeah, you got something else? All right.
And then to make it more crazy and to see how Israel deceived with it, they get on other Israel for wearing the image, right? But what do they do? What do they do with the white image? They got pictures of the white image right next to what? The black image. So they carrying around the false image with them. Okay. But to get on Israel for wearing it, but they carry it everywhere they go. And everywhere they set up, they picking that image up and they carry it, put it in their trunk, keeping it in the house. You know what I'm saying? Because they keep up with it. Yeah. So what's the difference between Israel keeping the image in wickedness, being deceived, and they keeping up with the same image? Talking about they claiming they trying to show Israel a difference when the Most High didn't give man that permission. He said not to touch. He said even in Corinthians, touch not what? So what they doing? They touching the unclean thing, trying to rebuke Israel about it. It's even got them deceived to where they follow in the same suit. You know what I'm saying? But trying to correct the rest of Israel.
They're not really realizing it. That Satan got him.
Yep.
He got him to make the image.
Yep.
In transgression go against the very same thing that the Most High told us to do it. It doesn't matter. Remember. So it's like saying a silver one is bad, but a gold one is good. The Lord said silver or gold. Right. You understand? Right. Get rid of them both. Right. Okay? So we can finish. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13. And now 18 again.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13 and verse 18. For help, he called upon that which is weak.
Right, because most of the time, what do? We will think upon these images. Brothers and sisters that have those images, when you need help and you praying, you straight thinking about that thing. You like, oh, Most High in the name of Yahushua. And the first thing you think about is the board that you was taught, or the picture that's on your shirt. You're thinking about the Most High in the name of Yahweh Shai. You thinking about that. No. Okay? Go ahead.
For life, praying to that which is dead. For aid, humbly beseeching that which had least means to help. And for a good journey, he asking of that which cannot set a foot forward.
1 foot forward. Help me in my journey. You thinking upon the idols. But guess what? We are now the help. We are now the help. So we are sent forth to help brothers and sisters to see the light of the Most High in Christ. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And for gaining and getting.
And for gaining and getting, for blessing and more blessing. Go ahead.
And for good success of his hands, asking ability to do of him that is most unable to do anything.
Right. So that is going to come to a halt. That has got to come to an all-out cease. All right? So, I think that's it. Let's see anybody got something. Go ahead and start the communion, brother. And while he get that, we will grab a couple more. Bear with me. Oh, you did? What you got, bro? It's about idolatry.
Yes, sir.
Check out what he got though with the water. Let's see if he. See what you got, young brother. Okay, go ahead then, read it.
This is Baal the dragon. Baal and the dragon. This is after Suzanne. This is Baal and the dragon. Verse 25. Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship the Lord my God, for he is the living God. But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I give thee leave. Verse 27. Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair, and did seethe them together, and made lumps thereof.
So Daniel was in the house of the Gentile, and the Gentile was believing in the idol, or two idols at the time. And the scriptures was coming out today on how we should be examples to show what's right and what's wrong. And what Daniel did was he asked the king to give him leave to prove that the thing that he worshiped and prayed for his increase, that it was just something made with man's hands. So what Daniel did was ask for leave, and he mixed some hair and pitch to prove to the king what I'm about to do is I'm about to show you that the thing that you worship and that you put your faith in is just a rock, or it's just molten clay, ceramic. So the king gave Daniel leave, and then Daniel then goes forward to give the king an example of who is the true living God that made everything. Go ahead.
Verse 27, then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair, and did seethe them together, and made lumps thereof. This he put in the dragon's mouth, and so the dragon burst in sunder. And Daniel said, lo, these are the gods ye worship?
So Daniel then blew up the dragon mouth that was hanging, and it just bursted into a bunch of different pieces. And Daniel said, see, look, this is the God that you worship. It is but a thing. It was nothing from the beginning. So Daniel had to lead the example to show him that the idol that he put his faith in was nothing but the things that come of the earth. They're just elements. And that the true living God is what gave him the understanding to teach that the true God is the one that delivered him in the situations where he was supposed to die. And they gave the king faith to believe in the true God of heaven and not the idol that he once put his faith in.
Right. Okay. So, Wisdom of Solomon 14. Because the 14th chapter is going to go into idolatry too. We're going to fast forward. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and start verse 9.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 14 and verse 9.
Start verse 5. Verse 8, I'm sorry.
Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 8. But that which is made with hands is cursed.
Right. So Israel, everything that's made with hands, the Bible says it's cursed. Go ahead.
As well
Go ahead.
as he that made
The
it.
one that made it and the one that have it. Go ahead.
He, because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God.
Go ahead.
For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God.
All right. So the Father hates, he hates all that have these idols, the makers, the ones that have them, the thing itself, all of that. Because remember, the Most High is a jealous God. So, y'all brothers and sisters, y'all got the communion, y'all should be getting it. Because he's a jealous God. Verse, is that 9 now? Verse 10?
Verse 10. For that which is made shall be punished, together with him that made it. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation. Because in the creature of God,
meaning the nation of Israel, go ahead.
They are become an abomination.
Right, so even inside of Israel, these things are become an abomination inside of Israel. Go ahead.
And stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise.
And a trap. Get Israel trapped inside of that. So, because when you start praying, you start putting into mind the idols and images and things that are inside that you come across in Israel. Israel used to pray to the man on the cross. Then they got rid of the man on the cross, and then they give you another man to pray to. Okay, it goes from one circumstance to one situation to another situation, and it becomes a stumbling block and a snare to the feet of the unwise. Go ahead.
Verse 12. For the devising of idols.
Right, for the devising of idols. Let's get the definition of devising. Devising definition. Plan, invent. Synonyms: conceive, think up, dream up, work out, formulate, concoct. Okay? Construct, fabricate, create, produce, develop, discover, hitch. For the devising of idols. You put all these things and you invent this. Because these images that Israel have now, these images are not images of old. Plus, it's not an image of the man himself. He didn't say draw a picture. He said write it in a book. He said write the description. So is there a problem if you had the description wrote down on a piece of paper? There's no problem because it's written. Write it in a book. He said, John, and what thou seest, do what? Write it in a book. He didn't say create an image. Draw a picture. He never said do that. So the devising is to do what? To invent or design. Some of them got braids. You see some images. Young dude, black beard, he's got braids. Don't the young dude got braids, right? Then another one got a snow white afro. You know. For the devising of idols was the beginning. Go ahead.
Spiritual fornication.
Spiritual is real fornication. That's just like your woman dealing with somebody else, fornicating. She's all in love with the guy. She's in the front seat kissing him. He's touching her. That she's fornicating. Israel, you are fornicating with idols. You're fornicating with these images. Get rid of them. That's the beginning of spiritual fornication. Go ahead.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
Right. The invention of them is the corruption of life. For neither were they from what? The beginning. That's what we said. They wasn't from the beginning. So we started at the beginning where the Lord said, listen, make sure that you don't corrupt yourselves and make you an image of anything. Go ahead.
Neither shall they be forever.
Go ahead.
For by the vainglory of men.
What is the vainglory of men? Meaning men want glory falsely received, falsely gotten, falsely put upon them, saying, hey, I'm teaching Israel to turn back unto the Most High and to believe in the black Messiah of Israel. No, you're teaching Israel an idol. That's what you're teaching Israel. You doing it. Yo, you're doing it. Oh, you're teaching Israel. Oh, you're turning Israel to believe in the black Messiah. Oh, you're doing this? So you're doing this. Yeah, I'm doing. You're doing this? Where's when the scriptures say one man planted, another man watered, and the Most High give the increase. So it's up to the Most High to give men the spirit to believe in what is written according to the scriptures. What the scriptures say, that he found that which was written was right. Remember that? Yes. That's the last one. Then we're gonna end on that. We ain't even gotta finish this. I think it's the 9th chapter.
Oh, Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's where that comes to remember. Yes, okay.
This is Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 12 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright. even words of truth.
All right, so we said, write it in the book. What thou seest, write it in the book. So in other words, the things that are written, those things are upright. Okay? Not we to create some new way, some new path to deal with it. You can't do that. So everybody that has these things, you got to discard them because you truly for the Most High and not man. So with that, I got to say shalom. Matthew chapter 26. Okay, so join us back here tomorrow where we'll have class again while the food is being done, being cooked. We'll be starting at 6:30. Yes. New Moon Sabbath service. Okay, we're going to learn today. Matthew 26:6. Now when Christ was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had an indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahushua understood it, this whom the world calls Jesus, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought the good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me you have not always. For in that shall pour this ointment on my body. She did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman hath done be told for memorial of her. So all praises to the Most High for giving us sister the Spirit to come forth and give Christ some comfort for his burial, and also set a beautiful example of a broken and contrite heart which leads to repentance. Okay? So now, the communion. This time we'll get John. We haven't got it in a while. St. John chapter 6:53. This goes with the communion too. Today is not a Sabbath. Tomorrow at even. Today is not a Sabbath. I've been saying it all day. Tomorrow at evening, the regular Sabbath, it's the same day as the new moon Sabbath. The exact same day. The only difference is it's the new moon Sabbath. But because it's the 7th-day Sabbath, please do not cook. You have to prepare your food before it's dark. Prepare your feast before it's dark and eat it and be merry and be filled. And then that's the last hot meal you're going to have, even though it's the new moon. Eat it cold. The 7-day Sabbath laws prevent you from cooking on that day. So, St. John 6:53. Now when Yahushua, then Yahushua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you. Now check this out, Israel, right, for tomorrow. Now listen to this. I hope you're at John 6:63. Worry about today, right now. Go get it. Hurry up. I'm waiting for you. Thumbs up when you got it. St. John 6:53. Let me know when you got it. Come on, Jay, I'm waiting on you. Thumbs up. 6:53. St. John 6:53. Thumbs up. Let me know you got it. All right. That wasn't you. That was somebody else. Somebody else still. All right. I'm going. Verily, verily, I say unto you. So this is talking about the communion. Except you eat the flesh. Remember, this is his body which is broken for you. So a lot of you didn't know that this goes with the communion. We've been teaching it here so long that these brothers and sisters here, they already know. We just cut it and get to it. But listen. Except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. What is Christ saying? He's saying if you don't take the communion, you don't have this life in you. This life is talking about the life of Christ. You don't have this lifestyle, this truth, the way, and the life in you. You don't have that in you. So brothers, and if you feel condemned about the communion, you got to do what it takes so that you're not feeling convicted and guilty, so that you can guilt-free take the communion of the Most High in Christ. Okay? Verse 54. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood, so this is the bread and the wine, have eternal life. Why? Because where is the communion being took place at? At the general assemblies that are scattered throughout the four corners of the world. That's where the communion is being taken. That's where the life of Christ is. That's where the examples and the true image of how to be and how to live is being set. He says, and I will raise him up at the last day. I want to stop here. Verse 55. For my flesh is meat indeed. He said, the way that I live, you can eat off of that. And my blood is drink indeed. So people bug out. Old Testament people bug out. They're like, see, he's a vampire. See, he wants you to drink his blood. They be trying to grill on him, be humorous and this, that, and the third. Not really understanding that this blood, what made them bleed? Righteousness. Keeping the commandments of the Most High. You understand? Yeah, Christ?
I say sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrificing. Yeah, sacrificing. Sacrificing what he could do based upon what he should do. This is what we to pattern our life after. Verse 56. He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me, and I in him. Meaning you're going to stand in truth and he going to stay inside of you. As the living Father hath sent me, and I live by the Father. So Christ said, I live by the Father. So he that eateth me, even he shall live by me. Meaning he going to give you this, he going to make sure that the Most High give you the spirit to live. By what? Cherish and nourishing you, like it says in Ephesians, even as Christ did the church, he going to nourish and cherish you. He going to make sure that you have the essentials that it takes to live in this earth. To pass and overcome tribulation, adversity, affliction. Verse 57, 50, 58. This is that bread which came down from heaven. So he's talking about himself. Not as your fathers did eat manna and are dead. He that eateth of this bread shall live forever. So if you do what he's telling you to do in the scriptures, he said you're going to live forever, Israel. You ain't going to just live 30, 40, 50, 60 years, 70 years, pass away. And no, he said you're going to live in eternal immortality. No death. No death, no pain, no affliction. No letdowns. And what's going to come with eternal life? Eternal wealth, eternal prosperity. The wonders of heaven going to be opened up and all the blessings. When you reap, you're going to sow. You're going to sow. Vineyards. Vineyards. Wealth. Gold. Wealth. Silver. Platinum. Bronze. Land for the heathens. Arrows. Bam. Get out of here. Wicked. The Lord said, cattle on 1,000 hills. 1 Corinthians 11. I want to get that precept. 1 Corinthians 11. We don't got to go there, but I'm just going to write. I'm just going to quote it. You can write it down. It's Psalms 50 and 10. think that this brother sing this song. I think it's Howard Hewitt. He sang the song called Amen, and he sang that the Most High has cattle on 1,000 hills. And so it says that in Psalms 50 and 10. Every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. You know that's everlasting food source. That's everlasting food source. Israel, you never go hungry, man. You never go hungry. All that belongeth to the Most High. He give it to whom he choose. Cattle on 1,000 hills, man. So, 1 Corinthians 11 and 23, for I received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, Hamashiach Yahushua, whom the world calls Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. He said, I did everything for you, Israel. Do it in remembrance of me. He wasn't dead when he said this. He was sitting at the table, and they didn't believe or understand that it was going to come to pass. Or they believed him, but they didn't know how, because it hadn't happened yet. After the same manner also he took the cup. When he supped, he took a sip, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. He said, remember me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death till he come. He's talking about dying. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, verse 27, wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily. So he's talking in his natural state, he's talking to his disciples. They're like, wait a minute, unworthily. Just like some of us would be like, man, I ain't gonna turn my back. I ain't gonna do the wrong thing. But one did. Judas did. Shall be guilty. So where he thought that little bit that he was getting away with, look, it deceived him. And it caused him to betray his brother and have his brother killed. He said, if you're doing it and you're not serious, you're going to be found guilty of murder. Because the Lord is trying to have Christ, the Most High is trying to have the Spirit of Christ and the image of Christ to live inside of us. But if we're monkeying around and clowning around and not dealing righteously, what are we doing unto that image that the Most High is trying to have seen inside of us? We're destroying it. That's why we're going to be found guilty. But it's for you to examine yourself. But let a man examine himself. Because you wouldn't want us to examine you and say, hey, brother, you're not worthy of this thing. Don't you do that. This is not for you. You're not serious. Only the Most High knows your heart. Only the Most High knows, your true intent. We can guess at it, at you. But whether you're serious or not with this, man examine himself, so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. He said, go ahead. Eat it if you want to, drink it if you want to. Because he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself. Not discerning the Lord's body, meaning not caring about other people. That's a bad thing, not to care about other people, Israel. And because of this, many are weak and sick and get killed. That's how I would put it. But the scriptures say, for this cause, many are weak and sickly among you and many sleep. For what cause? Not discerning the Lord's body. What is the Lord's body? The Lord's body is talking about the congregation of Israel. Now we're going to read it. Let's go to Colossians 1. See, everything is being explained unto us. And guess what? And through the Spirit explaining it to us, who you think is without fault? The ones that's listening. The book of Colossians, chapter 1. And 20. The Bible. body, this flesh to death, it was into. Verse 23, read that.
Colossians 1:23. If you continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel,
All right.
which ye have heard,
Which you have heard, go ahead.
and which was preached to every creature,
To every man and woman and child, go ahead.
which is under heaven,
Right, through the four corners, go ahead.
whereof I, Paul, am made a minister, who now rejoice in my sufferings for you,
Right, the stuff that he have to go through. He say he's happy about it, he's positive, go ahead.
and fill up that which is behind of the afflictions of Christ in my flesh.
Right, so he said in the things that Christ, you know, he stopped going through, and there's still stuff left in the earth, he said he's going through. For Christ's sake, go ahead.
For his body's
For
sake,
his body's sake, not discerning the Lord's body, go ahead.
which is the church.
Which is what?
The church.
Which is the church. So when we go back and you're not discerning the Lord's body, that means you're not discerning what? The church. So your behavior around everybody else, you don't care about how you behave around everybody else, you got to pay for that. You got to pay for that. So setting a bad example is the wrong thing to do. The Most High going to have something against you. You already got to give account of your sins. Now you got to give an account for acting up around other people. Let's go back. That's what we're reading. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. So if I was brother, if I was you, or if I was in a situation, not you, but if I was in a situation to where I was acting up around other people, I would stop it, because when the Most High judge me, the Most High going to judge me for my sins and for the sins that I'm doing that's affecting other people. Yes? Maximum? All right, 1 Corinthians 11. Everybody see and understand that? All right. Not, where do we stop at? Verse 29. For he that eat it and drink it, mean you take the communion unworthily, you know you're clowned it. You eat it and drink it, judgment to yourself, not discerning the Lord's body, which is the church. For this cause, many are weak, sick, and sleep. You have a weak spirit. You're not strong enough to even help yourself. You're sick. Sickly, terminally sick. Can't recover. You end up dying. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. Meaning, all you got to do is stop. All you got to do is stop. The Lord said, if you stop, peradventure, he won't judge you. But when we are judged, if you don't stop, he said he got the solution. We are chastened of the Lord. And when we get chastened of the Most High, he going to scourge you to bring you into subjection, to show you he's God. That we should not be condemned with the world. Meaning, in order to save you, he got to rebuke you very hot with his hot displeasure to make you change. Make you think about it. And then on top of it, you got to live with the pain and suffering of the correction of the Lord. And then you still got to keep the commandments that you should have just kept before he put it on you. Right? All right. Most high in the name of Christ, thank you for the food and drink. Amen. Amen. This is body which is broken for you. This is blood. All praises. All right, all praises. So as we're going to stand and face Jerusalem, stay around for the prayers, and remember, 6:30 Central Time, be back tomorrow. We got class again. All right? Okay, Israel.
If every man was just like me, what kind of sanctuary would this be?
Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6 and 9. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. And in Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
The laborers' prayer, Luke 10 and 2. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the labors are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth labors into his harvest. Bless you, most high King of heaven and earth, and all things most high, in the name of Christ. Send more disciples and teachers to your harvest, to gather your people of Israel, and send counsel behind your laws, to stand before the people of Israel. Give to us strength to break down our lives with that word. And in Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Blessing of Israel, Numbers chapter 6 and 24. Children of Israel, the Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And in Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Children of Israel, bless one another.
Most high in the name of Christ, bless you all.
Hey, excuse me, if y'all riding in the Escalade, I need y'all to come on and come on out.
Invalid option.
Somebody better go get in the Escalade.
Conference recording started.
Starting?
There are 1.
You know what they do.
All praises, sis. All right. Hey, thanks. All praise to the Most High Christ. All right. Any questions, y'all know to inbox me and don't hesitate. All right. All right. All praises.
No, I was trying to screw in.
I hope everybody have a beautiful rest of the evening. Take advantage that we got out of class 20, 30 minutes early. We typically go a little longer. All praises, sis. All right, y'all share the video before we leave again. Tag somebody in and how you doing, Miss Sephora? Welcome to the class, the General Assembly of Israel. We'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 Central Time, all right? Go back and see this class concerning idolatry from the beginning. Hey, Thawada. So, I gotta run, y'all. I gotta run. I thought you did this already.
I don't know. I did.
I believe so.
You sure?
I'm kind of sure.
You kind of sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm kind of. I could double check, though.
Yeah, just double check. And if, I don't know, just let me know. That way you have it. It's like, yeah.
Okay.
You just let me know.
All right. Want to be safe, sis? All right.
I'm sorry.
I don't mean of course, you don't mind my mean questions, do you? No, I don't. I don't. Just remember the answers. Tell you the answer, remember it.
And what time do you have?
9:13.
All right, I got to get out of here. They're forcing us out, all right? Shalom. Oh, sign Christ, that's all right.
All right.
What's up, Bob?
No.
I'm gonna have to give you mine, because tomorrow, so you already know what we got scheduled for tomorrow. That's like almost everything. But on the not the 20, you got the 20, right? Give it to you. And you
Shalom. What's up, Felipe? All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. All right. Shalom. God bless. Y'all bless. Peace.